All right, we are live.
Oh, you didn't know?
How was y'all's weekend anyway? Or waiting?
It was good. I went and picked up fucking 25 bags of mulch. I went and picked up this dog pen that a customer gave me. It was 8 10-foot sections of dog pen that I still got to put up Sunday because I spread mulch.
Hold on, real quick.
What? I hear the beeping.
You still here? You say?
Is it your phone, Bryson? What?
You hear beeping now?
Yeah.
There's nobody out there. Go away.
And it's not
Please.
like.
I got it. What about now? That should be good. Did it go away?
Yeah.
I don't hear it.
Hello.
Yeah. It's that fucking button that gets hit on that thing. So
Right, yeah, baby.
Bryson, what was that on your phone? What was you doing with your phone?
we were listening to see what it sounded like. He was listening.
Oh.
I don't want to have it like double echo.
Okay.
Double let
I'll
go.
send this out to us, but yeah. Just gonna share this real quick.
Can you stop, please? Damn, this cat is really annoying. God.
I'll just ringtone. Of my life.
Just a second. If you do join, we're gonna get started here in just a minute.
Coach Hayes.
Coach Hayes here.
Send it now, Coach Hayes.
Hey, did y'all see while we got a free second? Did y'all see that end of the race on Sunday?
Okay,
Dude,
yeah,
I
let's
did.
talk about that for
Yeah.
a second.
I did.
Yeah, I seen it, and then I seen Joey
Joey
Logano.
Logano would have done the same damn thing.
I hate Joe Logano.
He did it back to
He
Matt
would have.
Kansas.
He did.
No,
the same thing.
what he did down pit road.
Matt Kansas got his revenge on.
Look, what he did down pit road is inexcusable.
Yeah, in front of his family with the baby.
I didn't think it was that big of a deal until I saw the in camera, and I was like, "Oh my god, he was right there on top of them." Now, here's two things on it though. Those people are not supposed to be on pit road until the cars come to a stop. Only the officials and the teams can be on pit road at that moment. They were over too early, but it still doesn't matter. Joey was way out of line. He could have incredibly gotten somebody. He could have gotten somebody killed. I mean, I didn't think he was that close until I saw the in camera. And I was like, he was literally on top of them. They had to move or they would have been hit, and then he burned out right in front of them and the baby. I was like, "Oh
But
god!"
Hold on, hey, speaking of, hold on, time out. Sorry, I don't mean to cut nobody off. Speaking of NASCAR news here, just got some breaking news. Retired NASCAR Cup Series driver and 23X race consultant Kurt Busch was arrested Monday on DWI charges.
Oh,
good.
That's not good. I hate to hear that. I really love Kurt. Kurt's one of my favorite drivers of all time. But regarding the situation between Denny and Joey, neither one of them have ever gone out of their way and wrecked the way that Austin wrecked them. Now, don't get me wrong.
no,
they've pushed drivers out of the way, but they've never dive bombed
Austin
into a
did
corner.
not wreck Denny Hamlin. Denny
Yes, he
Hamlin
did.
moved up into it. Moved in. If you look at it from a different angle, Denny Hamlin moved into Austin's lane.
Okay,
Yeah.
so every car is equipped with SMT data, like sensors and everything like that, and they have the data from the steering wheel turning into him left and hooking him to the wall. Now they both met,
That's
and
not
it was
that I've seen. The
It's
Y'all
not-
do
it's
join.
not
We're going to
the
start here in a
steering
second.
wheel.
We're just
the steering wheel
Fine,
turned to the
fine,
left a
fine.
little bit. That's how we got him.
I need some breaking news right here. It's probably been 5 years. Brown Racing is coming out of retirement. I'm getting back into go-kart racing. It's been about 5 years. Me and my days travel over Georgia, Carolina, so might be seeing some new videos.
C&BSports live from the track.
So from the track, I hope we have a good little. My retirement was good, ready to come out. I've been me and my dad's been kind of itching. Opportunity presented itself, and we're getting back into racing, boys. Just saying, Brown Racing.
Those little mini go karts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we used to travel all over.
You got some?
Carolina, and
How many you got?
They used to have one. They ain't got one no more. Oh,
yeah, we used to have a whole set of trailer.
there he is.
There he is. That's Chris Brown. That's my new pit crew guy right there. If you're not first, you're last. That's right.
You guys do say what's up. We're about to start the podcast here in just a minute. Start the live show. There's my buddy from work.
I'm getting text
Josh,
already.
I was telling you about. Roll Tide.
Hey, Brent Lacey. Okay.
But back to the NASCAR thing. Did you see what happened? What happened for it? So in the format they're in now, it's win and you're in. He was 32nd in points. With that win, he automatically moved from 13th or from 32nd to 13th in points. Automatically locked himself into the playoffs.
I had watched no NASCAR all season.
It doesn't matter. It
doesn't matter anymore. They took the points away and they took the automatic bid away from him. So now he's not automatically locked in the playoffs.
It wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered. He's riding in the back of the pack.
He would have been out in the first round anyways.
Dylan Abercrombie in the chat. What's up, brother? We're about to start the college football show here in just a minute.
I don't know who that is.
Shout out to Dylan.
I have no idea. Oh, you work with him.
He's probably the chillest guy ever.
Okay.
Real chill guy.
Is that the big show guy?
That's the big show guy. That is the big show guy.
If I had it set up, I would play the big. Oh, I don't know what I just clicked. Okay, I think we're good. If I had the big show,
another text message.
If I had the big show set up, I would play the music right now. All right, we got to get started here in just a second. So, dude, says Graham.
That's Graham Hatfield.
Right, starting the podcast. Here we go, boys. Recording for this.
Oh, you didn't know?
What's your think of? Was he a quarterback?
Your ass better call somebody.
Texas would never be back. I'm putting that shit on my grave. Horns down on my grave, son.
Dabo is going to wheel his boys to a big victory this coming Monday.
A big victory? It's damn Georgia Tech.
That game ain't a top 50 game, man. South Carolina go in there. They're going to get dispersed.
Shout out to the boys again, going another 4-0 on the parlay, hitting again. 8-0. We are 8-0 on the season. If you listen to the podcast, you want to win some money, tune in.
No dogs.
No Tigers.
Roll Tide, roll. RMFT. Roll motherfucking Tide.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the College Football Weekly Matchup. Here once again, back with another episode. Last week was a good one. First episode of the season. Getting ready for college football just to start up here in just a few weeks. Gonna do a couple preview shows here before the season starts. Got the boys here with me again tonight. Preston, not doing a fantasy football draft. Hope that went good for you last week.
Awesome.
How was your week?
Week's been good. Getting over a kind of like a little cold right now, but I feel so much better than I did the last couple of days.
Got some people in the chat here as well. We got old Coach Hayes. Here we go.
Coach Hayes.
Here we go. Always supporting.
That's a great man right there. The captain. The captain is in the chat too.
The captain. Got captain here, guys. We are live on YouTube here. We do a live. If you ever want to join, we are live on YouTube. This is records on Spotify. And it also
Apple Podcasts.
Hopefully the internet's not messing up for us. Y'all let me know if the internet is messing up for us. Says something about it. Anyway, this does get recorded and put on the YouTube channel as well. But say what's up if you're in the chat. Josh, here with us tonight, getting ready. Season kicks off here in just a few weeks. Got the first game of the season here. Georgia Tech, Florida State here. That'll be the one to kick us off in week 0. How much are you ready for the season?
And I'm just amped up and ready, man. This is the greatest time of year. It's like Christmas time for me. And it's the dog days of summer. It's been so hot outside, it ain't even funny. But yeah, 2 weeks. Let's see. Yeah, not this Saturday, but next Saturday, I'll be watching Florida State and Georgia Tech. And I'll probably only have one TV in the living room that Saturday. But the following Saturday, living room will be packed full of TVs and food will be cooking all day, and I'll be watching football all day long. Georgia and Clemson kick off at 12.
Damn right. Yeah, we will go live for some games. So, guys, if you ever – I know Josh and Preston won't be on, but me and Bryson will go live for some games during the season. So if you're ever interested in just hanging out, watching some live games, we'll be live during the season. We've got Coach Hayes' Apple Podcast. We are on Apple Podcast as well. Forgot to mention. We got Dylan Abercrombie says, let's go, fellas. Big show. There he is.
That's a big show.
couple
Yeah,
other
that's a new
people. High
nickname, the
Dollar
Big Show.
Wings.
High
There
Dollar
he
Wings.
is.
Dollar Wings, baby.
Dollar Wings going for a repeat. Bryson here with us
Yep.
tonight. How was your week? How much you look forward to the season?
Oh,
Getting
man.
ready here in just a few weeks.
Like Josh said, man, it's the best time of year. Christmas and a little late summer. Like I said, I'm excited, but for my team, a little nervous this year.
Tough schedule, man. Tough schedule.
Number one, toughest schedule in the nation. So, you know, hopefully we could kind of shock the world. I don't see it happening, but I know Billy Napier, that fires, like I said last week, is getting higher and higher each year. But you know, thank you for the Coach Hayes for calling me after work, kind of calm me down. I was kind of ranting a little bit about the coaching staff before, and he kind of brought me down back to earth. So shout out to Coach Hayes. If you want to run the wing tee, that's the man to go to.
Wing tee, baby. He's got a write up for it. Guys, if you don't know, if you are new here, because we do now have some new people here, I'm a Georgia fan. Preston up there is a Clemson fan. Bryson's a Florida fan. And Josh, Roll Tide, is an Alabama fan. So if you don't know that, if we do mention our teams, that's why. We got Chris Torres saying Florida going to win more than 4 games. Probably not.
I'm going to take the under.
We'll
I think Vegas has it at 4.5 right now. I am taking the under. I think we're going to definitely should beat Stanford. And I think we could beat our kryptonite this year, Kentucky. And we might get 3 wins. I can see Mississippi State maybe, but besides that, eesh.
Shout out to my mom. She's watching. Hey, Mom.
Hey, shout out to
Miss Vulture.
How you doing? Shout out to you. Going to get into some topics here before we start. If you don't know tonight, we're going to go through and do ACC and SEC preview. We just kind of if you guys did watch, if you do watch Unnecessary Roughness on Barstool's podcast, they did something similar. That's basically what we're doing. Want to go through and give our favorites to win and worst team, best team, surprising team, stuff like that. We'll explain it once we get there. But overall, just a few topics. The preseason poll, AP poll, was released. Did you guys see any of that? Any thoughts on the poll? I know we had the coaches poll last week. Josh, did you see the?
Yeah, I seen some of the AP poll. I really don't pay much attention to these.
Washington not mentioned again.
Not mentioned again. I don't pay too much.
They were in the bottom.
Where they have where was Notre Dame? 7.
Colorado.
Notre Dame is 7.
7. See,
Colorado got 2 votes.
Yeah, but they're not in it.
but I think Washington got the most votes, right?
Yeah, no, I think there was a couple other teams ahead of them. I'm not sure, but I could be wrong. Might have been Washington.
Yeah, Louisville had the most at 111.
Louisville's good though. Louisville's good.
But I say this
should.
every year, and the statement still runs true to this day. Since we started this podcast, USC still makes the top 25 every year, and they came in at 23rd. I'm surprised they're not in the top 15, to be honest. But thank you, Coach Hayes. Yeah, Mountaineers got with the 4
West
votes.
Virginia.
So
What'd you say, Josh?
I just said West Virginia.
Yeah, West Virginia's not a bad school.
I got YouTube up on my phone so I can see the chats.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, you do have a national team that was in national championship though that didn't make it last year. So, that's kind of disappointing. Even though
I mean that's just weird to me. Like at least put them at 20 or something. Like
yeah, I agree.
Do you know who the most perfectly ranked team in the top 25 is?
here we go.
Who's that?
Iowa at 25. That's perfect. It's perfect. One of the best defenses, one of the worst offenses. They're a perfect gatekeeper for the top 25.
Coal miners. That's what Clay says in the chat.
coal miners.
Also, a couple other things. We're going to get into this team a little bit later, but I don't know if you guys saw Paul Feinbaum says Florida State will not finish in the top 10, or excuse me, top 25 of college football. That's what there was a video that came out the other day. Does anybody got any thoughts?
He said they'll finish unranked.
That's what I watched the video the other day, and it was on ESPN.
Now, when Florida State, threw their little pity party last year, I said they need to be careful because that might be their downfall. But I just don't see it. I think they got too much talent, and I just don't see them like falling out of contention for the playoffs for sure.
Yeah, especially
they got too much.
Yeah, I could see if they were in the SEC or something. No offense, Preston, but I could see if they were facing some better school, even in the Big Ten.
Yeah, just
but,
saying.
you know,
ACC's awful.
that's not true.
I mean, I'm looking at their schedule right here. I'm looking at their schedule right here, and I've got it. I wrote it down here. Realistically, I see them going either 9-3 or 10-2 with losses to Clemson, North Carolina, and Notre Dame. Now, the North Carolina game finishes up the rest of the regular season. I could definitely see. I'm sorry, it doesn't finish. It's November 2nd is the North Carolina game. That's a game I think they can win. Obviously, I think they can win at home versus Clemson. I think that's going to be a very good game. I think they can win that game and be potentially 11-1. And then the Notre Dame game, it's right here. I'm looking at it. It is November 9th, so the week after the North Carolina game. So if they don't get tripped up with North Carolina, then they have to travel to Notre Dame at 7:30 on NBC. I mean, if they win those 3 games, they're 12-0. I mean, and then Paul Feinbaum, which I don't understand why anybody listens to that.
Hey,
He has nothing to say. He's got nothing positive to say about anybody. If you're not in the SEC, I'm sorry. Let me correct that. If you're not the
Florida
top 2
State's
team,
quarterback is Uyunglele.
I was waiting for Preston. He's DJ whatever.
Ukulele.
From Oregon State
it
last
doesn't
year.
matter. If you're not in the SEC, he's going to say something poor about you. I mean, how many years did he say something poor about Clemson? They were competing for national championships and things. I don't have. Personally, I think he's probably a okay person to be around. Professionally, I just don't understand why anybody listens to him. I mean, he is just an SEC coat tailer. He's nothing positive. I mean, he was a Saban, fanboy. I mean, he's just, I don't know. I personally don't like the guy.
No. We got Captain in the chat saying they won't be in the playoff. They'll be in top 25. I agree with that. But, top 12, is playoff.
Here goes Clemson boy. Clemson boy, my ass. Realistic. Who the fuck is that?
Bryson, any thoughts on Florida State, Paul Feinbaum? I mean,
yeah, me and Forrest joke around about Paul Feinbaum for the things he says, and I think I can't agree with him on here. I agree with the captain. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, so they'll definitely be top 25. But like Preston said, they could go 12-0, and and Josh said too, they got plenty of talent. I mean, DJ, he's a veteran quarterback, so I mean he's been playing. I feel like he's like a 7-year senior by now, but I think they got enough talent over there to try to make some noise. If they can win the key games, like Preston just said, they could definitely make a little run in the playoffs.
We got
talking shit over there, I see.
We got Graham in the chat says White Claw drinker equals Clemson fan. That checks out.
Hey,
Paul
Feinbaum wrote Nick Saban off years ago.
That's right.
And then did y'all see the when Lane Kiffin got up and just busted his chops on live TV?
Yes, it's awesome.
That was hilarious, dude.
Paul Feinbaum's just like
has made a living off of Nick Saban. I mean, he's a damn hillbilly from Tennessee. Well, what else can we say?
Yeah. Get away from that subject a little bit. Not too much else in college football before we get into this stuff, but small NFL preseason stuff. I know not many people watch preseason. Caleb Williams looking good. Jaden Daniels looking good. And then we got the injury today from Jake McCarthy. JJ McCarthy, going down for the season. Kind of tough for the Vikings. Joe Milton looked good. It's kind of tough to see a quarterback. They said JJ. I've heard nothing but good things from JJ in training camp. So that kind of sucks. I don't know if you guys saw that at all, but that was kind of tough. What did Coach Hayes say here? He says Rocky Top is Paul.
That's a good one.
Oh, God.
Anybody got? I mean, I don't know if you guys kept up with it. You saw
I do know that. I mean, there's absurd fans everywhere, but dude,
right.
These Georgia fans that I seen on these college Facebook pages that I'm on, talking about Stetson Bennett with the game.
Time out before you talk about that. Before you talk, I'll go ahead and rant about that. That was going to be my rant of the week. The man threw four picks, and we're talking. I'm a Georgia fan. He has looked good. He threw 3 in a preseason game the year before. Then he comes out and throws 4, and all they want to talk about is him winning the game for a touchdown, and he threw 4 picks. Come on now.
And
Come on now. Let's get real.
hey, 3 of the 4 picks that he threw were horrible decisions. It's
Now,
like he's not seeing.
I didn't see the pick. So
He's not seeing the field. Like I don't know what he was seeing, what he was looking at. But an ex-Alabama player making the game-winning touchdown reception, and Miller Forrestall.
He's got great opportunity too when Stafford leaves. I mean, he's the backup, so hopefully he plays well. Like I said,
I like Captain said right there.
He looks good in the pockets, but like I said, the decision making sometimes.
I mean, he's not young. I want to say he's young, but he's not young.
He's not really that young, Captain.
He's new. He's not young. He's new.
Yeah,
he's 27 years old, man.
Yeah.
I mean, you got to lay off and then you might be able to do a little something,
Anyway, I know not many people watch preseason, but I just thought it was interesting. Hope J.J. McCarthy comes back. I know they got Sam Darnold.
JJ.
He's new. Stetson's
I'm hoping the Saints trade. I'm a Saints fan. I'm hoping we trade Derek Carr and give Spencer Rattler the keys.
Yeah, I'll tell you that right now. That's probably the best.
We'll see.
Draft pick right there.
He looked okay the other week, but anyway, before we get into the does anybody else got a rant? That was just a small thing this week. I know.
Oh yeah, I got one.
Bryce want to rant about something.
Let's talk about I forgot his name. Will Levis. A mayonnaise fragrance. Mayonnaise cologne.
Did y'all see that?
My God. The man already puts mayonnaise in his coffee. We need to have a cologne out of mayonnaise. If you just want to smell like shit, you just want to smell like shit. I'm sorry, but that right there, that's absolutely disgusting.
And this was true. This was on I saw it on Twitter.
Mayonnaise infused.
Yeah, it was a mayonnaise fragrance.
Infused fragrance.
Oh,
I'm sorry. It's probably gonna set you back $75-$80. Ain't worth it. I'll tell you that right now.
I can get down with some bacon.
Now, Josh, I could see it. He might get that like
fried bacon. You'd have to put bacon smell on one side and a little mayonnaise on the other. Yeah,
I don't want to walk.
I can see Josh.
I love Duke's mayonnaise.
I can see Josh getting it. Like I say, this last Thanksgiving, he put mayonnaise on his lima beans and stuff.
No, they were butter beans.
Oh, same thing. That's still nasty as hell.
No, it ain't. You ain't tried it.
Comment in the chat. A few people that's here. Comment if you put
mayonnaise
on your butter beans before we get into the next stuff. Anyway,
you throw a little bit of mayonnaise in there, some salt and pepper and onion.
Here we go.
Oh, we got one more thing before we start. We got Clay Rick says, let's talk about the fact that Bryson took a Caesar salad over a Texas Roadhouse roll. You know damn well he's picking that roll over the salad. Rant of the week. I agree. I do agree with that. Anyway, that was funny. Bama guy could figure it out.
Figure what out?
Maybe he's talking about
that mayonnaise.
Anyway,
oh man.
Anything else? Any other rant? I heard it. What did he say? I heard Clemson fans like mayonnaise.
No, that's the Alabama fan here. Likes mayonnaise on my butter beans.
Anyway, all right. Where do y'all want to? Y'all want to start? SEC?
It don't matter to me.
All right, we'll start with the SEC. We're going to do preview. If you guys don't know, like I said before, we're going through. We're doing a preview here. We're picking our conference winner, title game matchup, our surprising team in the conference, disappointing team, and worst team in the conference. If you do watch Barstool, like I said, it's similar, basically what they did. Thought it was interesting, so wanted to do that instead of going through the schedules. But where y'all think we should start? Worst team or best team, or
start with the worst?
Worst team. All right. We're going to start. I don't know if anybody's got anything different, but Josh, we're starting in the SEC.
I mean,
who do you have in the worst team?
Talk about the worst record in the SEC.
Worst team, yeah, that's worst. I
don't see how you don't go with Vanderbilt as the worst team in the SEC.
Well, that's why I figured everybody would have Vanderbilt.
I mean, you might have Arkansas. I mean,
I don't think I looked at Vanderbilt's schedule, man.
Yeah, Vanderbilt. I mean, you got Mississippi State, but Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt's gonna have the worst record. Dude.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, I figured this one would be pretty much a sweep. I just wanted to see if anybody
Commodores.
Yeah,
Yeah, the Commodores.
I mean, Preston
anchor down.
Preston, anything different?
No, I mean I've got Vanderbilt as the worst team in the SEC, but the most disappointing team I have
Yeah, we'll get into
Arkansas.
that. Yeah, Arkansas. Yeah, yeah. Bryson, I mean, anything else but Vandy?
Yeah, I mean, worst team I have Vandy. You know, just hell, they might win one game this year. Honestly,
I looked at the schedule. I mean, they got. I think their second easiest. Who is it? Georgia State, and that's not even a guarantee.
but hey, you know, Vandy they anchored down on us last year. So I mean, what's that tell you? Like I said,
Anchor down.
yeah, they anchored down on the Gators. You know, we lost to them last year, but
Oh no, hold on. I forgot all about that.
oh yeah,
Oh shit.
yeah,
Damn, y'all might be real in the dumps.
yeah. I'm telling you, it's rough over here in Gainesville. So, but yeah, yeah, my worst team I got as Vandy.
All right, I didn't think anybody have anything different. We'll go. Preston already said his disappointing team would be Arkansas. So Arkansas, any reason? I mean, any reason Preston?
Yeah, I'm looking at their schedule right here. Realistically, they really could go 4-8 here. They got a layup on the first game. Then they play at number 17 Oklahoma State. So they're 1-1 there. I think they lose that game. Then they play UAB at home. They can win that game, be 2-1. Then they play number 20 Texas A&M, number 15 Tennessee back to back. Then number 13 LSU. Mark those up as 3 losses. Then they got Mississippi State, potentially a win there. Then they play Ole Miss and Texas, loss and loss. Louisiana Tech, potentially a win. And then they finish the season out with Missouri. And I don't think they win that game either. So I realistically could see them 4-8. I think their ceiling is 5-7, and that's about as best as they can really get. And I'm thinking they're probably looking for a new coach at the end of the year if they want to make a change.
Yeah, I had their ceiling. I wrote up a little bit about each team, just going through a little bit. I had their ceiling around 7 wins. I think that's absolute ceiling. But I see them around 5 to 6. This is what I had. But I do like the quarterback they got there in Green. I forgot where he transferred from. Little guy there, but I do like him. Josh, who's your disappointing team?
All right, so I went when you say disappointing team, I went with
you want a team that's underwhelming from expectations.
Yeah, I went with a team that expects to make the playoffs, but I think that they may slip up and not make the playoffs. And so I was going to say Tennessee, but their schedule is easy. I looked at their schedule; it kind of looks pretty easy. So the most disappointing. I'm going to say LSU. I think they're going to have a little down year, and their expectations are high in Baton Rouge, and Brian Kelly is the biggest choke artist of all time. So I think he may choke a few games away, and I think they'll be, disappointed. I don't think Arkansas really hopes to make the playoffs or anything, but I think LSU plans to, has hopes of making the playoffs. And
I saw LSU a little both ways. I could see him as being disappointing, but I could also see him as being a surprising team. I mean, the team that you might not think that'd be up there, I could also see him doing really well. I don't know too much about it. I know they lost a lot of talent. Like I said, they lost their 2 best receivers, lost their quarterback, lost some defensive pieces over there. But we'll have to see about LSU.
I think they still got Perkins, that linebacker.
Yeah, and I like the quarterback they got there. So
Mettenberger.
Yeah. No, it's not Mettenberger.
No, it's
It was about 15 years ago.
Garrett Nussmeier.
Pronounced name.
Right.
Nussmeier. Mettenberger was
it's a while
15 years ago, LSU.
Bryson, you have a disappointing team?
Yeah, I'm going my Gators. This might be the most delusional fan base I hate to be a part of it, but I think I'm on the right path here.
Man, you gotta be optimistic, man.
But honestly, we got the talent. We just can't piece it together. Our defense is absolutely horrible. Finished 4th to last year in total defense. Graham Mertz coming back. He's a decent quarterback. Was 3rd, in the nation with the completion rate. But yeah, like I said, I see us going. Honestly, I'm not lying to y'all. 2 to 4 wins. Honestly, having this schedule up on us this year does not help at all.
I'll be looking for a new coach if that happens.
And that's the thing. The recruiting. I like how Billy's recruiting. He's been recruiting pretty good. But all in all, I don't see I don't see 6 or 7 wins from us.
I saw absolutely. When I looked at the schedule, I saw 5 wins max. But if you got to think, if for some odd reason they do play well, I mean this team. I mean they have a tough schedule. They could have a chance to be.
Listen, man, if they win less than 6 games, they fire their coach, and then
it'd be hard to win.
I think they go.
I don't know if they can. I don't know if 6 wins is the reason they fire the coach because that schedule is ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm saying
8 of 12
they
games.
win less than 6 games. If they win 5 or less, then I think they're going to fire their coach, and they're going to try to go after Schumer from Georgia.
Yeah, I don't know. 6 wins is going to be tough, man. If they win 6 wins, Bryson will be happy. We do have Captain in the chat saying, I'll get hate on this, but I think GA screws it up. I remember when they were ranked 1 with Stafford and they choked. Yeah, well, I also remember when they won back-to-back too. So how about it? Anyway.
But yeah, this schedule.
I'm always down, and I'm always down on Georgia going into it too. I'll say that. Not always, but last year when they won it, I wasn't fully on them. What were you saying, Bryce?
I was just saying, and like we just said, this schedule for us this year, it's not helping at all. So, like I said, I could see 6. I'm sorry, I could see 2 to 4. I would be happy with going 500 or maybe getting 7 wins. Like last year, there's a lot of games where we should have won. We should have beat Florida State. We should have beat LSU in those games, and this couldn't pull it out defense like we should have beat Arkansas. But KJ Jefferson at the end of the game just threw it, ran all over us. Like I said, our defense is our weakest point on this team. But 2 to 4 wins for the Gators this year.
All right, I went a little bit of a different route here. I went with a team that could do really well, but I don't think they're going to do it. And I'm Bryson. You're gonna be proud of me here. I'm going horns down. I'm going Texas to be the disappointing team. They're coming to the SEC, man. They're coming to the SEC.
They just took another hit with another running back.
Another hit. Exactly. I think Texas is. Everybody's high on Texas. Texas has got a lot of tough games. I know they're hosting a lot of these tough games, but
no, they don't.
Texas.
Yeah, Texas has got one of the easiest schedules, man. They
do have tough.
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it right here. The toughest game is at Texas A&M to close the season.
No, hosting Georgia will be their coach.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Host Georgia.
Yeah, you host Georgia. That's right. You're right. That's a pretty good game. That's pretty tough.
I'm
game.
just saying. And at Texas A&M ain't no walkover either. Now you going at Texas A&M.
Lose that game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You get 3 losses. You might not. Everybody's expecting Texas to make the playoffs. That's what I meant by disappointing. Texas would be good. Everybody's expecting them to make the playoffs. I could have easily went full forward in the spot like Bryson went. Like I said, they're already dealing with the injuries. And they did lose some receiving weapons on the side of the ball. I mean, they lost their fast receiver. A couple of their guys are in the NFL now. So you just never know. I want to see it. I want to see the first year in the SEC. Same with Oklahoma. I mean, I think Oklahoma, but I don't think many people are as high on Oklahoma as far as to make. I know Oklahoma's defense is supposed to improve this year too. So I don't know. Out of all the teams, I think Texas is the one that could fall apart.
Be disappointed at the end of the year.
I forgot. I remember in March Madness, they played somebody and they did the horns down, and the coach got mad. I don't think Texas knows what they're getting into. I mean, you're coming to the SEC. Everybody's going to throw those horns down. And they get emotional over that, I feel bad for them. I mean, you got to think Texas coming to Alabama. But oh God, my God, good luck.
But they're definitely national championship contenders. Don't get me wrong.
Oh, they are. I mean, they got.
I just think out of the top teams,
and they also have potential for disappointment.
I just think.
But hey, real quick, speaking of March Madness, the first time ever Alabama basketball is ranked higher than Alabama football in a preseason AP poll.
Damn,
that's pretty wild. Yeah,
bet my dollar.
GA preseason ranked 1 and flopped. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it happened before. Georgia was definitely ranked with Stafford when they had Stafford and O'Shawn Marino. I've seen them ranked 1 before, and yeah, they flopped. I'm just happy.
So I just want to throw this out there that if Nick Saban was still a coach at Alabama, Alabama would be preseason ranked number 1 with what they got returning on defense. and offense.
Probably.
That's what I believe.
Maybe, yeah. I could definitely, I would agree probably. Anyway, that's our surprising team. Let's go ahead and do the conference winner, and then we'll do the title game, who we think is going to be in the title game. So
You got the most surprising team.
Oh, did I do? I'm sorry, I skipped surprising team. My bad. Surprising team. Josh, go ahead with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Texas A&M as my most surprising team. I looked at their schedule. They got a favorable schedule. I think that if they do pull off the upset against Texas, they will be one of the SEC teams to get an at-large bid into the playoffs. If they beat Texas at the end of the year.
Yeah, and I went back and I did look at the schedule. That is a very important game, like you were saying earlier. So that's very important game for both teams in that case. But Preston, you have a surprising team?
I mean, I'm going to take the low-hanging fruit here. I'm going to go with Texas. They have a very favorable schedule. I think if they beat number 1 Georgia, they put themselves in the catbird seat not only to run the table for the season, but they also put themselves in the catbird seat to control the SEC and control their destiny there. They're 2 tough games. Well, they got 3 tough games. Obviously, they play Oklahoma in the Cotton Bowl, Georgia the following week, which that's a pretty tough back-to-back weeks. I mean, one of those games you're likely to lose. And then to close the season out at number 20, Texas A&M. Josh saying, obviously that's a tough place to win. 100,000 plus, just going crazy. It's your rival. I don't think they play that often. Renewing an old Big 12 matchup. So it's gonna be a very, I think they're gonna be a really good team.
Yeah, they definitely can be. But yeah, one thing I remember, I mean, just a couple years ago, they did only win like 5 games too. So and Texas, just a few years ago, didn't they only win like 5 or 6 games?
Texas A&M?
No, Texas.
Oh,
like 2 or 3 years ago, they only won like a couple.
It was like 3. It was before they hired Steve Sarkisian.
Okay, maybe it was before. I thought it was a couple years ago. Anyway, but how much easier? I know the schedules. I know they have an easy schedule compared to everybody else, but how much easier is it than what they usually have going into the, like last season?
I mean,
pretty average to a regular Big 12 schedule for them. I mean, they're instead of playing Kansas State or Kansas, now you're playing Vanderbilt and Florida.
But how much? I mean, I would, as much as Florida's got a tough schedule, Kansas State and Vanderbilt, Kansas State right now anyway, and
it's good.
Florida, yeah.
State of Kansas is up.
No, Kansas. No, but I'm just saying. I
know. I said the state of Kansas is up. Both Kansas and Kansas State are both ranked.
I was just saying I would just rather. I think I would rather play. I think I would rather play Kansas State than Florida, in my opinion. But Kansas, no, in my opinion. But anyway, surprising team, Bryson.
Surprising team. I'm going with Josh here. I went A&M too. I think they can make a little noise in SEC. And if they win the key matchups, good God, this year, they might try to make a little playoff run. But yeah, I got A&M surprising.
Who's the quarterback now?
4.
I forgot who. A&M.
A&M.
Is it Connor Wigman?
Yeah, Wingman.
Yeah, that's right.
Connor Wigman. Yeah. A lot of people are high on him.
Yeah, a lot of people liked him. That's right.
I don't say they're going to be good, but I think who's going to be pretty good offensive wise. Carolina's running game. Like I said, they got the best, I think, transfer in the whole college football. Rocket Sanders going to Carolina. Got a little insight today from work about some Carolina. They're upgrading the line a little bit because that's last year that was their downfall. And they get Nick Harbor, probably fastest man in college football. Rocket Sanders to the moon. I really think he.
Yeah, I remember you're also talking to one of the biggest Carolina fans there.
He's a good man.
I mean, I agree.
He's a good man. I'm honestly, which I'm gonna do some pick'ems. It's gonna be a lot of over rushing yards for Rocket Sanders this year.
We'll see. Clay says, how many SEC make the playoffs? I think it just depends, right? Or is it automatically 4?
No, I just think it's 4.
Oh, you think it's 4? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. My surprising team was going to be one of Josh's disappointing teams. It was kind of tough. I was between LSU and Tennessee. I thought LSU because, I think a lot of people are down on LSU, but I went with I did go with Tennessee. I like the young quarterback they got over there, and they do still have some returning. They got my boy Squirrel White. I like Squirrel. I just love the name anyway. And they also, I know their secondary. They might need to prove on that, but they do have one of the best defensive linemen in the nation. I mean, the defensive line in
Dylan Sampson.
I will give a shout out to my buddy Hank Arnold, director over there at a nonprofit organization called Calvary the Force that helps the community for people seeking recovery. Give shout out to Hank Arnold.
Shout out to Hank Arnold.
Shout out to Hank. Hank the Tank, baby.
But I did go through it, and I could see Tennessee around 10 wins. I mean, I think they can make the playoff. I think they could possibly compete. I've read a lot about this kid. I think a lot of people are high on the young quarterback, and we'll see what happens. And I think, like I said,
I'm a lever.
Yeah, and they have a lot of returning. They got some return receivers. They lost a few players. It's just mainly about the defense, in my opinion. But they do have some big road games. So I know they do have some big road games, but they do get to play.
So there's this one thing I want to point out about the new rule changes with the green dot with the communications in the helmet. So it's going to be shut off. All communications to the offense and the defense are going to be shut off 15 seconds before the play kicks off. So for teams that run hurry up, it's gonna pose a problem if they want to try to fool the defense, because they're going to have to wait till after the clock strikes 15 seconds to go if they want to try to trick the defense.
Explain that a little more to me. So if they were running hurry up, wouldn't they be able to just get it in and go, or what?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if they're running hurry up, they like to run the up tempo, run up to the line, see what the defense is, call out what they want. Well, the defense can counter pretty quickly from a guy in the booth talking to the guy on the defense that's got the green dot on his helmet.
When was the cutoff? When was it? What was before the 15 seconds?
They didn't have communication in the helmets.
Oh, so none at all? Oh,
no, this is new.
Oh, yeah, because that was the thing about.
Therefore, they were talking about our team's going to start slowing down their offense so they could get the play in after the communication stopped. It's just going to be kind of hectic. I don't know if it's going to really cater to the teams that run up tempo. Yeah, it's brand new. It's new this season. In fact, some people think that teams are still going to not use it and just go back old school. And there'll still be signals called in from the sideline. But yeah, supposedly there's going to be a official there that cuts off communication with 15 seconds to go on the play clock.
I like seeing the 3 quarterback coaches with the different shirts just going crazy. I love seeing that.
Or the signs, the weird signs that they hold up.
Oh, yeah, gotcha. Everybody pick a surprising team? Did everybody pick one?
Sir.
Okay. Let's go to – we're going to go title game – or, excuse me, conference winner, and then we'll pick our title game. I think we should do conference winner first.
Title game first?
Yeah, I guess. I guess we could do title. I was thinking it would give –
Just do it all at one time.
Yeah, you're right. No, title game. Title game's cool. We can do both. Yeah, that's fine. Y'all give your both. Preston, title game and conference winner.
For the title game, I've either got – so I think Texas is there for sure, and then I think it's also Georgia-Bama. I think one of those teams is going to be there, and then Texas is the other team. And then did you want me
You had to pick one.
If I had to pick one right now, I'm taking Georgia versus – and it'll be a rematch of the regular season game where it's Georgia-Texas. We'll get that twice this year.
Gotcha. Who do you think wins it? Who do you think wins
I think Texas wins the regular season matchup, and I think Georgia wins the SEC championship matchup.
Gotcha. Josh.
All right. I've got Georgia and Alabama, a rematch. And I've got Alabama winning the rematch. Losing the first game, winning the rematch.
How it always happens, I guess, huh?
Would this be the first year that Georgia beats Alabama SEC championship game?
If if Georgia plays Alabama in the SEC championship game and beats them, yeah, it'd be the first time Georgia's beat Alabama in the SEC championship game. But what I'm saying is that Georgia will go into Tuscaloosa and win on September 28th, and then they'll get a rematch, and Alabama will win in the SEC championship game. Because I got Texas getting knocked out of contention by Texas A&M.
Got a Georgia fan in the chat. Says Dogs going undefeated.
That's tough.
Anyway, yeah,
I don't think nobody's going undefeated.
I don't think so either. If anybody did go undefeated, I'd probably pick Georgia. But
I'll tell you ain't. And that's Florida.
I went with my title game. It's going to be a regular season game. What we talked about plenty of times. I went with Georgia versus Ole Miss. That's what I went with. I think Ole Miss is going to be good. I think both of them, are going to be two of the best teams. Like Josh said, I think this is going to be a rematch. And both, I think, both of their toughest games they play besides each other are both at home. I believe I saw, if I'm not mistaken. So Georgia plays Texas. That's right. Anyway, I don't know what I was.
The only reason that I have skeptical about Ole Miss, making it to the SEC championship game is Lane Kiffin can never get out of his own way in the in-game coaching, game time coach, like game coaching decisions. He can never get out of his own. That dude cannot stand to punt the ball, dude. 4th and 8 from your own 42-yard line, and he's going to go for it. And that'll change the outcome of a game, man. Maybe he's matured enough to punt that ball this year, but if he's 4th and 8 from his 42-yard line, he's going to go for it.
Well, we all know why he don't
Depending on how many points they put up, I don't fully disagree with it. I mean, yeah, in a bad spot of the field, I like going for it, but it just
well, let's not forget why he don't like to punt, because he did find his punter at a frat party last year. So I'm just saying.
I'm just saying games against like Georgia or Texas A&M or LSU, you can't. I mean, I just don't see it being a smart way. I don't care if you think you can outscore them. Those teams can score too. I just don't think. I just think sometimes his coaching decisions are sketchy, and I think he gets in his own way sometimes. Maybe he's grown up a little bit. We'll see.
I just, and one reason, like us, Alabama they got a new great coach, and you got a lot of people returning, but we'll see what they're going to do. And also not a fully believer in Texas. So that's one of the reasons I went with Ole Miss as a second spot. I got Georgia winning it, though. Georgia winning the conference. So.
Yeah, my conference game, I got Georgia, Ole Miss, and Lane Kiffin can't win the big game, so I'm going with Georgia to win the conference. I think the first matchup is going to be close. The first time they meet up in the season, I think Georgia gets the pretty good upper hand on the second matchup.
I think that's where I got Georgia's loss at is the first one. Probably going into that first matchup. I think that's what ended up. I think they'll lose the first one, like Josh said, against Alabama. I think they win the SEC title game. But we'll see. They're going to have to win those.
They got to get. I mean, I know they got the Alabama game circled, but like I said, the A doesn't change. They got to get over that hump. And if they feed into the rat poison that the media's got, that Alabama's not the Alabama they used to be because Nick Saban ain't there. I mean, we're about to see.
Yeah.
Keith Heimer, what's up, Keith?
We said Texas going to be something serious, says Barrett Doss. What's up, Barrett Doss? Texas definitely can be. We'll see.
He's a good man, Barrett Doss.
All right.
You didn't pin the other comment.
What was the other? Oh, sorry.
Here we go.
I did. Clemson going to roll. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. He doesn't even watch college football.
Yeah. Here we go. Clemson. I hope it does happen. I'll tell you why I hope it happens.
He also thought David Blau was going to be like the best quarterback for the B Short Lions. So.
See, that would be the worst thing that could happen for the SEC and Georgia opponents is if Clemson does upset Georgia week 1. That doesn't affect the SEC.
I think they can win that game.
You know what?
There's
That's
no way
they're
they're
perfectly fine because they're going to be on that high roll going into week 2 when the Power 5 killers come into Death Valley week 2 and get the upset.
I'm just saying that wouldn't bode well for the rest of the SEC.
Ain't gonna happen.
If Clemson upset Georgia, then Georgia probably runs the table the rest of the way.
I'm telling you.
That's why I'm saying. I mean, I wouldn't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would be pissed we lost because I got to deal with the man up there the whole rest of the season. I would be very upset. But I always say, if I'm going to lose, I want to lose early. That's when I'd want to lose. So, hey, what's this dude talking about? He says, I know y'all picking, but I want to see original SEC teams beat the crap out of new SEC teams. I do.
Yep.
I want everybody to beat the hell out of Texas. I don't give a damn who they are.
All right. Everybody picked their conference point. Josh, did you?
Yep.
You already did. Yeah, you picked Bama.
Yeah,
Okay.
Roll Tide roll.
I just ain't got it in me to pick against Alabama till they show me something different.
Yeah. No, I agree. I agree with you. We'll see what's going to happen there. Let's get into the ACC here. Went through the SEC there. Where we got here? We're going to do worst team the ACC. I don't know if there might be a couple teams up for grab here. Josh, do you have a worst team?
Yeah, I do. It's Stanford.
That's who I went with. I agreed with it.
That's who I went with too.
I was just looking at the ACC and all the new teams they got. SMU. I think they might be a little better than Stanford. I don't know.
I think SMU's going to be pretty good.
I think they are going to be pretty good.
I think SMU.
I don't know
quarterback too.
I don't know what Virginia's got, but my guess is that it's going to be Stanford as the worst team.
I would guess Stanford too. Bryson,
I actually went Wake Forest.
Oh, come on! You can't go out the Demon Deacons.
Yeah,
come on, man. They're going to pull some upsets this year, boy.
They damn, here we go. I like that.
They play Clemson. Right?
I was looking up some of their stats last year, and just comparing them from the other ACC teams, my God, they were awful. I mean, they were they had more than 20%. I saw this more than 20% more in penalties than any other ACC team. 100 yards lost compared to any other ACC team. I just don't think Wake Forest has it in them. It was between Wake Forest and Stanford, but I went Wake Forest.
What about Cal? I mean, Cal might.
I think Cal's gonna be a little bit better than the rest of them.
That's what I mean. Like the ACC went out of these schools, man. Who the heck they adding?
Yeah, I think Cal. I think I would. I think there's a couple teams that could be towards the bottom, but I would pick Stanford. He says Tech. I guess you're talking about Georgia Tech or Virginia Tech. If you have Virginia Tech, I mean, I wouldn't. That's kind of possible, but be tough. Anyway, Preston, do you have anybody? You had Stanford, right?
I had Stanford as well.
Okay. All right. Let's get into the disappointing team. You have a disappointing team, Preston?
Yeah, I'm going to go with NC State. They're preseason ranked number 24 right now. They got a couple big games. The game at Clemson, you got Tennessee early in the season, and then they got North Carolina to finish the year. I think all of those three games are legit, games they could lose. And then there's potential for some other like let me down kind of games during the regular season. But I think their depth in defense on the offensive and defensive line and their ability on special teams, for some reason, they always have some decent punter that's going to pin us down in the 5-yard line. I don't know. It kills me. But I think they've got aspirations to win the ACC and potentially make the new playoff format. And I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to have some big losses that are going to keep them out.
Did lose one of their best defensive players. So went to the NFL, but everybody's high on that quarterback.
Grayson McCall.
Everybody's high on him anyway.
Is that the one from Coastal Carolina, right?
That's correct.
Everybody's really high on him.
I mean, the dude's got to be about 26, 27 years old.
Yeah. Anyway, Josh, you have a disappointing team?
Well, I just want to respond to Keith. Maybe not this year, but soon I think it will be. I think they will be. But yeah, I got to
be cool. As much as a Georgia fan, I'm not like a big hater against Georgia Tech. I'm not gonna lie. I think that'd be pretty cool to see Georgia Tech.
I got the most disappointing team I got would be North Carolina. they got issues at quarterback. I read something about Mac Brown not pleased with quarterback play during fall camp. That's about all I can go on. But they've been up there when they had with Drake May, and I just think their fans are going to be disappointed this year.
Yeah, they lost Tez Walker too, who's on the Ravens now. I was one of my favorite receivers that played for Carolina. But yeah, North Carolina definitely could disappoint. I don't know what people are expecting them to do this year. But Bryson, do you have a disappointing team?
Yeah, I went with Miami. I don't think great pickup by Cam Ward at quarterback. I just don't think there's enough talent over there for him to carry that team in the ACC this year. Like I said, Cam Ward,
a lot of big players over there.
Yeah, but I said like they'll win week 1 against us for sure, and then after that, I think they're gonna fall off a little bit. Like I said, great quarterback. I wish we could have got him somehow, but Cam Ward.
Okay. Well, disappointing team. Who did I go with here? I done forgot who I wrote down. Let's see. I went with. Did I write? It wasn't Florida State. Hold on, give me a second. I wrote somebody and I can't remember who I wrote.
What did he say?
Who said something? Excuse me. I did have Florida State. I did have Florida State as a disappointing team. I couldn't remember. I was between Florida State and somebody else. Florida State. I think everybody's got them winning the ACC, and I don't think they're going to do it. I just don't agree. I think, like I said, between Clemson, Miami, and a couple other teams that I think that could contend, Louisville, possibly Virginia Tech that maybe can contend. Florida State. I mean, they lost the defensive end, one of my top players on their team. Not a full believer in DJ Ukulele, whatever you call him. Johnny Wilson, Keon Coleman, both receivers gone. Benson gone. He's on the Cardinals. I mean, you're always going to replace them. Defense. I think a lot of the defensive players I think I saw they have. I think it was like 6. They only brought back 8 starters, if I'm not mistaken. So, that's good many, but I don't think they're going to win it. I think everybody's thinking they're going to win it. We got.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think Florida State did have a pretty decent defensive line last year. Didn't some about 2 of them left, didn't they?
Yeah. They lost a couple defense, but I know they still got some top players. I think they got some of the top cornerbacks in the nation. I think secondary is real good at Florida State, but we'll see. I just think everybody's contending having them winning it, and I don't think they're going to win it. I think it's going to be between a couple other teams. Keith Heimer said, "Is DJ going to be a bust at Clemson?"
I mean Florida State. They said Florida State. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, okay, gotcha. Florida State. I don't know. I mean, he had a decent season last year at Oregon State, didn't he?
Decent.
Yeah, I think he was decent. I mean, I know he had towards the end of the season, he had some good games.
I did like him when he was at Clemson because Preston was riding that all week.
Yeah.
1 week loved him, 1 week hated him. Hey.
Everybody did we all do disappointing?
Yep.
All did disappointing. So let's go. Surprising team. Bryson, lead us off.
I'm going to Mustangs. SMU. I think they can get 7 wins, maybe 8 wins this year. I know they got a lot of good talent over there. Pretty quick team. So I'll go with SMU.
How many did they win? They won a good many. They won 10, 11 last year in the non-conference. Were they non-conference last year or different conference? I know they won a good many. I know they're in the ACC now, but I was curious. I know a lot of people like SMU this year. We'll see. I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Preston?
Yeah, I also chose SMU. I'm a little higher on them than Bryson is, and I'm probably with a couple of the other big heads on that one. I realistically could see them going 9-3, 10-2, 11-1. They've got a favorable schedule. Looking at it here, and then I just pulled it off. Their schedule aligns pretty good. Their big game is Florida State. They get them at home September 28th. I mean, they've got a pretty straightforward schedule. They don't play Clemson. They don't play any massive non-conference game. They just have September 28th, Florida State at home. They have no other ranked team on their schedule. Nevada, some Christian school, BYU, TCU, Florida State, Louisville, Stanford, Duke, Pittsburgh, Boston College, Virginia, and Cal. So they don't have a lot of heavy hitters on their schedule. So I think they realistically could go pretty high. I mean, all their ACC schools that they have on their schedule, they can win those games. I mean, if they win every game but the Florida State game, go 11-1, they could be representing another one of those two teams in the ACC championship game and potentially find themselves backing into one of those last spots in the playoffs.
I was just looking to see what their schedule was last year. As though they finished, they won a good many games. Josh, you got a disappointing team?
Surprising team. Yeah, I do. I'm going to go with Georgia Tech. Now they got a rough end of the season with Miami, North Carolina State, and Georgia. I think they can win 7 games. I think they'll win one of those games against the last 3. I think they'll get North Carolina State. I think Georgia Tech's turning the page. I think they win 7 games.
Yeah, Georgia Tech, big question mark on the defense, but that was going to be that's one of my thoughts as a surprising team. But I kind of went with a team I think that might can contend. That's returning a lot of starters would be Virginia Tech. I went with Virginia Tech. Like I said, I do like Georgia Tech, but I don't trust the defense. Virginia Tech's returning 11 offensive starters, and they had the quarterback. He didn't turn over the ball much last season. He's returning. He only threw 3 picks last year. I think he threw for almost 3,000 yards, which, and then they have 8 defensive starters returning. I like a team that's going to return a lot of people, even though the players might not be very good. I like team chemistry, and, Virginia Tech, we'll see. I know Louisville's another team a lot of people like. They were good last season. But I think a lot more people are higher on Louisville. And Virginia Tech also, their out-of-conference games are not as tough. I believe a lot of the ACC teams, a few of them at least, have to play Notre Dame. They're one of the teams that doesn't have to play Notre Dame, I know. So, that's one of the reasons that I like Virginia Tech as well. Let's go to where we at. We are going to the conference winner and title game now.
Yeah.
Josh, go ahead.
All right. Give me Florida State versus Miami.
Any reasoning why you don't think Clemson's ready? Clemson ain't got enough, or do you think just those two teams are powerhouses?
I mean, I just think Miami can surprise us. I almost put them as the most surprising team. I think, you said they got Cam Ward. I think they do got some playmakers down there. And I was just looking at their schedule. Let's see. Where to go? By the time they play Florida State in the regular season, they could be 7-0 going into that game. And then after that game, they got Duke, Georgia Tech, Wake Forest, and Syracuse. So I mean, I don't know where they're gonna. They may could lose against Virginia Tech or Louisville, but
they don't have to play Clemson, do they?
No.
No.
So that's what I think maybe the difference is.
Do they play Notre Dame or no? They're one of the teams that play.
No.
No. For some reason I thought they did. Okay. Preston or Josh, did you have who's going to win that game?
Florida State.
Florida State. You got Florida State win the conference. Okay, Preston.
Do you think Florida State goes undefeated? Or do you think they lose 1 or 2?
Who's their out of conference games? Who's Florida State out of conference? Anybody know?
Florida State's out of conference is Memphis, Florida. Yeah, it's Charleston, Southern Florida, and Memphis.
And Notre Dame. Yeah.
Yeah,
I could see Memphis giving them a run, and Notre Dame. Yeah. Out of conference.
I mean, they may lose. They may lose to Clemson.
Yeah, Clemson too. So.
I mean, Preston, it's hard for me to say.
Yeah. Preston, who you got?
In the ACC championship game?
I just did that mainly mess with Preston.
Yeah. Yeah, Preston, ACC championship.
I think we get a rematch of the October 5th game. I think it's going to be Clemson, Florida State. I think both of those teams have favorable schedules. They both can line up and meet that game again. Losing this game, as long as it's a close matchup, really shouldn't affect you in the national scheme. If Clemson or Florida State has a loss non-conference leading up to this game or after this game, then whoever loses this game is in real desperate need to potentially winning the ACC. That's being their only chance to make the playoffs. But like I said, they both have very favorable schedules for the regular season. They have big games outside of their conference, with Notre Dame being for Florida State, Clemson with Georgia, both ending the year with SEC schools. Even though they're on the softer side, they're still in the SEC, so you get a non-conference win. So I guess that's big versus a Power 5 team. And I realistically think both of these teams could find themselves in the playoffs. Not if they lose twice, obviously, but if
you think both of them can get in.
I think there's a theory that they both could get in. One team would have to run the table, and the other team's two losses would have to be to that said team close. That's the only way I could see them getting in with 2 losses.
So say Florida State beats Clemson in regular season.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and then Florida State say loses to somebody like let's just say they lose to SMU.
Okay.
Or Notre Dame, but that's not a conference game. But I just got Florida State beating Miami, and that giving Miami 2 losses, and Clemson only having 1 loss and getting in without having to play in the conference championship game.
Makes
I would
sense.
take it.
Florida State and Clemson in the playoffs. Miami get knocked out.
For Preston.
I think if we got to host a first round playoff game, yeah, it sucks we don't get the first round bye, but I think that atmosphere would be electric at Clemson. I think that'd be an incredible scene.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Yeah, Death Valley getting loud.
Yeah, I mean that's exciting being able to host a playoff game.
Oh yeah.
Everybody gonna be touching the rock. My conference game, I got get ready, Preston. Florida State and Clemson. I think that's gonna be a good game. Early prediction: Florida State wins the game on a field goal. My early prediction gonna be down to the wire. Good, great game.
With Florida State and Clemson playing, and Florida State was to beat Clemson, would that knock Clemson out, put Miami in?
I would say yes. Kind of like that same scenario, like you just told Preston. If they only got 1 loss,
it's gonna be very interesting.
It is gonna be interesting because what Clemson and Miami don't play each other, so they wouldn't have a head-to-head to compare them to. And if they both got 2 losses,
so do you just go off the strength of schedule at that point? If you're,
think about all these other teams that are around too.
Yeah, you do. No way you put it. Somebody's gonna be walking away pissed off after Selection Sunday.
Yep, they are.
No matter 4 or 5.
Well, it doesn't matter with any conference. All the Power 4 conferences, it's going to be somebody's going to be pissed.
Because doesn't somebody from outside the Power 4 has to make it, right?
I mean, what Utah and the Big 12 now, right?
Hold on, time out. Sorry, I mean, who else
Josh.
outside the Power 4 can make it besides Liberty? Is there any other team? Who?
Yeah, like Boise State. Technically, I guess you got some other big teams.
Notre Dame.
Like Notre Dame, I'm about to say, yeah.
Yes, yeah.
They get that they can't get a number unless they are even if they're number 1, they can't get a number 1 seed. They can't get a bye week in the playoffs. Notre Dame can't, no matter what.
I don't care. I don't even want to make it.
I'm just saying that isn't that weird? Like if they went undefeated, they still would be number 5.
They'll end up joining the conference, though, won't they?
I mean, I would imagine if they went undefeated and ended up being the 5 seed and having to and hosting a playoff game and getting beat or something, you know what I mean? Something weird like that.
No.
or somebody getting hurt during that game, and they would have been like, we could have had a week off if we'd have been in a conference.
Coach A says highest ranked group of 5 team conference champion gets a guaranteed 12 seats back. Dang it. Come on, Mouse.
That's smart. Good right there.
Anyway. All right, my turn. I went a little bit different than you guys. I kept Florida State out of it. I went Clemson, Miami, and I'm probably wrong. I'm just not a believer in Florida State. I know they did good. They were undefeated last year. I just think they're going to fall off.
I just think the loser of the ACC championship game might be very, very, very disappointed.
Yeah.
No matter who it is, I think they may be knocked out of the playoffs, and then whoever's going to sit at home and not play in that game gets to go into the playoffs.
And that definitely could be it. I got Miami winning it. I know Bryson had them as his disappointing team. I just think they got a lot of talent. I mean, they got a lot of players on the side of the ball. You got to remember they had one of the top receivers. I mean, they got one of the top receivers returning in Repstro or whatever his name is. I know he was good. I know I played him in fantasy a lot last year. He was really good. Cam Ward's very talented. I want to say they got a transfer running back too. And we'll see more on the defensive side of the ball. I'm not sure about the pass rush, whatnot. But I think all of them have their flaws in the ACC, and I like Miami as a package to surprise some team. Maybe they should have been my surprising team, but I just like them to be able to compete and possibly, win the conference for the first time in a while. Yeah,
U, baby, the U.
I think the U's back.
I think you ain't back. That's them right there. They ain't. I'll tell you this right now. Oh, now Preston might see me right around. I'm going to some sports shop sometime this weekend. Buy me a Texas plate. I'm putting it upside down, right around with it, boys.
Anyway, yeah, but no, I took Miami, so we'll see. I know my buddy at work, he was talking. He said Florida State should be the easy lie. I was like, I'm not a Florida State guy either. So I can't. I'm not.
I think Florida State. I know they lost a lot, but there's a lot of talent there.
Oh, of course.
I think there's some psychiatric issues with how they ended that season last year. Like the rest of the guys in that locker room, they went out there and laid the egg against Georgia, and then they cried, and their coach is crying, and everybody's throwing a hissy fit because they didn't get the playoffs, and blah 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 blah. And is that going to carry over? Is that cloud going to carry over into the season? Are they going to just scrape that off and start new? That's the biggest question for Florida State. Are they going to carry that cloud
in the playoff? Like you said, even though I have these two teams in the title game,
there's so many different scenarios.
Wouldn't it be great if Miami beat Clemson in the title game and Florida State gets in and Clemson's the team out of it? But
that would not be great for our buddy Preston.
No, why do you think? Well, this might have been my plan all along here.
Well, Preston, I can guarantee you this: at least your team's going to have more than 4 wins. So
no, I think Clemson's going to be pretty good. Like honestly, and I'm not rooting for Clemson or anything, but I do like I said, I do like Mafia. We'll see. But anyways, I think that's it for our preview there. Next week we're going to do. The Big Ten, what's the Big 10, Big 12? Is that the other two conferences? I can't remember.
Pac-12.
Pac-12. Oh no,
have you
Pac-2?
The Pac-2? Yeah. Do you have
Power 4?
Yes, the Power 4 now. Do you have any? I don't know if you've seen any of the comments coming out of the scrimmage for Georgia, but do you have any concerns about? And I know Kirby Smart is a clone of Nick Saban when it comes to press conferences and stuff, but some of the boosters are coming out and upset. Them collective guys, they get to sit in and watch that stuff, but watch the practices and the scrimmage and stuff like that. They got the big time boosters. They're saying there's a lack of some leadership. Is what Kirby Smart. Like nobody's stepping up to be leadership, but they got time to correct it. But
I could see it.
You know, I don't know who the vocal leader was or the team leader was last year, but apparently he's not there anymore. And I don't know if that was Brock Bowers or not. I never really seen him be really vocal on the sideline or anything like that. But they're still trying to form an identity and stuff. And I don't know, but I do know that that's the same thing Nick Saban would say every year about the team because he knows the team's listening. So I don't know how much to read into that or whatnot. But yeah, I was just seeing if you had any concern about that, about leadership on the team.
No, I mean, not
And then
really.
him talking about depth being an issue because of the landscape of college football now, and how there's depth questions about team players that can play championship caliber football, but he says that's across all of college football that the depth is an issue because of the transfer portal.
I do agree with that, but no, I don't. I mean, the leadership thing, I don't. I mean, right now I don't have too much worries about it. We'll see once time will tell, but I don't think it's nothing too much to read into right now, in my opinion. Like you said,
I got a question for Preston. Preston, Cade, what's your opinion on him this year, and do you think he's going to lead your team all the way?
I think he's going to be better in year 3 and year 2 as a starter than he was last year. Last year he was running for his life. Our offensive line was porous at best. I think with Matt Luke being our new offensive and defensive line coach, I think he's going to be able to shore up some of those line problems and give him a few more seconds to deal in that pocket. I think having a bruiser back like Phil Maffa, being able to have confidence that he's going to be able to hold a block, because I mean he's a traditional SEC style quarterback or running back where he's size, speed, and he'll run right through you.
We'll see that. I can tell you that.
You said what?
I said we will be seeing that man on Sundays.
Yes, you will definitely see him on Sundays.
So Matt Luke is the offensive and defensive line coach?
Pretty sure he is. Don't hold me to that. I know for sure he's the offensive line, but I think he does both.
Okay.
Anyways, yeah, we'll be back with a preview next week. Anything else from you guys?
Yeah, I mean, streamcity.org tomorrow at 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, and 11 for 30-minute shows. Same show. That's when it starts. Rolling with the Tide. Streamcity.org.
Todd.
Are you still? How many episodes have you done so far?
2. This is just, So this is the defensive coaching staff diving in to get to know the defensive coaching staff.
Streamcity.org. If I could, Josh, if I had the link, I'd put it in the chat.
Elite's going to be right here.
We'll do it next week. We'll
put a link in the chat next time. Just text.
So I was talking. I guess we can wait till we get off live, and I can tell you what me and your brother was talking about.
Okay. Anyway, appreciate everybody watching. Like I said, we'll be live with the other two with the preview next week. And then we're going to be ready we're going to be doing our picks for week 1.
Yes.
So, be right into it. That's why I figured to go ahead and do this. But appreciate everybody watching. Appreciate everybody in the chat. Make sure you like, subscribe on YouTube. Follow us on TikTok as well. Follow us on and download the podcast on Spotify. And, yeah, appreciate you watching. Peace. All right, boys, whoever's on the live stream, appreciate it, Coach Hayes.
Thank you, Coach Hayes. Hey, God bless America. God bless our troops. Thank you.
Coach Hayes. I don't know if you guys watch it, man. I shot some high school football this week. It went very well. Josh, how did your high school football go?
It went pretty good. It was a scrimmage. The home team, East Coweta, they looked good their first drive of the game, and then they kind of sputtered out. I'm not really worried about the defense so much. They look pretty good. The offense is kind of hit or miss.
Gotcha.
But I am looking forward to that Julian Lewis from Carrollton coming. He's a
appreciate
US
everybody on the live stream. We'll see y'all next Wednesday. We'll be live. Peace out.
Rolling with the Tide.